Okay, real quick, I just want to talk about the pros and cons of going red pill versus staying blue pill, because there are pros and cons to both. So let's first go through the pros of being red pill. Obviously, the pros of being red pill are you are going to be wide awake to all of the propaganda, the social engineering, the latest social narrative that the mainstream media is trying to push onto society. You're going to be wide awake to all of their bullshit, and you're going to be able to spot it, and you're going to be looking at everybody on your social media like a bunch of dumbasses as they share the latest social outrage and the latest memes, and we got to create awareness of this and that. You know, you're going to be able to spot all this stuff. All your other friends and people in your social circle, including family members, are going to be completely blind to this. So the great thing about being red-pilled is you are going to be living in reality. You're going to be operating in reality. 99% of people out there who are not red-pilled are going to be operating in fantasy land. They're going to be operating under the direction of the Matrix because they're still plugged in, right? They're going to be controlled by whatever the latest social narrative that the mainstream media is pushing onto people, whatever the mainstream wants you to believe, think, spread, right? You're going to be a part of that when you're still blue-pilled. You're not going to be able to identify propaganda, whether you agree with it or not. So that is, one of the pros to being red-pilled is you'll be awake while everybody else is asleep, and it's a great feeling. Also, another major pro to being red-pilled is that you will be very protective of your own individual thoughts, needs, wants, likes, desires. And you will embrace that. You will staunchly embrace your individualism, okay? You will embrace all of those little things about yourself that other people may not like about you. You'll embrace all of those ideas and beliefs. You might even share them that other people will try to shame you for. And you know what? You won't even care. Whereas your old blue pill self probably would have, right? You'll just shake it right off. And when you're red pill, you will actively trust your gut, or begin trusting your gut a lot more, just as you did when you were a child, because that was probably the last time you actually trusted your gut instincts, and before you got indoctrinated by the Matrix, by all the feminist, propaganda and all the PC mob, where you lost your ability to think for yourself, right? And you just started joining the collective like the programmed robot that they wanted you to be. But now that you're unplugged and you're red-pilled, you're back to trusting your gut instincts. You trust what's inside of you, what's inside your heart. And you don't believe everything you see on the television. You don't believe everything you see coming out of CNN or the MSM, the mainstream media. Okay? Instead, you're able to listen to your own thoughts. You're able to see reality for what it is versus what you want it to be. Okay, big difference, because your old blue pill self saw reality for what you want it to be, what you wish it would be, just like a child would, right? Versus how it actually is, and then operating with that, just going with it. Now, let's talk about the cons of being red-pilled. The cons of being red-pilled is you can never go back. Once you open your eyes to the red pill, you can never close them again. You know too much. Okay, you've gone too far. You cannot go back. You cannot put the toothpaste back in the bottle, so to speak. You can't. Now you know what the world is really about. Just like in the movie The Matrix with Keanu Reeves, 1997. If you have not watched it, I highly recommend you watch that movie. Just like in the movie The Matrix, you cannot go back to the same Disney fantasy that you have lived pretty much your entire life under. So, when you go red-pilled, one of the cons is you're going to go through something called red pill rage, where you're going to be angry, you're going to be kind of furious and resentful of all of the lies that you bought into that have hurt you your entire life, that have sabotaged you, that have wasted a good portion of your life, that have led you down the wrong path, that have caused you great pain, right, and harm. mentally, financially, spiritually, emotionally. Might have PTSD from all this crap. One of the cons is you're going to have a lot of resentment and anger. It's called red pill rage, right? Even depression, right? I've seen a lot of guys who went red pill even get depressed about it because, for example, like I'm a dating coach, right? They no longer see women the same. They no longer can look at them the same. I mean, eventually over time they get over it. Then they accept women for who they are, not what they want them to be, just like the world, accepting the world for what it is versus what you want it to be. And then once they get over that stage of red pill rage, they eventually come into a place where they're even stronger than they were before. And their game is even stronger. And they're no longer acting like this little bitch in the set when they're cold approaching these girls. Instead, they're able to act like a strong, confident man. You know, it's like a lot of that anger serves a purpose and it helps them. Whereas initially it's, you know, it's not going to feel good, right? The red pill is kind of has a bitter aftertaste. That is one of the big cons is you're going to go through that anger phase. Again, it's called red pill rage. You're going to reflect on a lot of beliefs that you thought were real, that were sold to you by the Matrix, by Disney. You're going to really, really feel dumb. You're going to feel foolish. You know, for some guys, like I said, it goes as far as depression. It's all of a sudden they awaken to a world that is not the same world that they thought they were living in. You feel me? So again, it just kind of mimics the movie The Matrix. That's why I encourage you guys to watch it, right? But that is one of the biggest cons to going red pill is, you know, A, you can never go back, and B, you're going to go through an anger phase, a resent phase, maybe even a depression phase. You know, you're going to feel some sadness, man. You're going to feel some sadness. But I mean, so goes with life. I mean, if you're pursuing anything big in life, and if you're a follower of my channel, I hope you are, whenever you go off the beaten path and you want to do big things in life, there's going to be tears along the way, right? It's part of the hero's journey. There's going to be some tears, man. There's going to be a lot of pain. You know, the only way to protect yourself from that is just go on the beaten path with all your other friends, you know, and do what your parents and society told you to do. Go to school, get a good job, or try to get a good job, and just live a safe, comfortable life, live paycheck to paycheck, and don't make a whole lot of noise. And you know what? You won't experience that much pain doing that. But when you go off the beaten path, try to become an entrepreneur, try to start an online business, get on YouTube, set goals to buy a DeLorean, you know, stuff like that. Try to date beautiful women. You just go off the beaten path, do anything off the beaten path. There's going to be some pain, man. There's going to be tears. There's going to be sadness. You're going to go through bouts of loneliness. There's going to be some times, man, where you'll think back and you'll be like, fuck, you know, this is kind of lonely sometimes, you know? I mean, right now I'm in a hotel room. I'm on the top floor. I'm in a nice room. I'm on the top floor looking at this landscape out here. Basically, here's my bed. Got some videos, rendering over there. There goes Gizmo. Here's Cash. And there's my girl's luggage. So my girl just came into town because she wanted to enjoy this with me. So that was kind of nice because, I was kind of feeling a little, I wouldn't say lonely, but a little bit, right? But that's what happens when you don't follow the beaten path. You don't get married. You don't have the wife and kids. That's why I say this journey is not for everybody. The hero's journey is not for everyone. You have to have a strong will to do it. And you have to have a lot of self-efficacy and resilience and internal strength. You know, not just external, but internal. You have to feel strong inside your own body. But going red pill can help you accomplish a lot of those things, right? A lot of guys find the red pill through pickup and game, which is actually a good thing. Because when you find the red pill through pickup and game, you're kind of learning on the fly. So as you're approaching women, you're not only like meeting lots of hot women, but you're getting red pilled at the same time. And it kind of softens the blow, right? Kind of softens the blow. It's much easier that way because other guys get red pilled after they get dumped out of a relationship and they just kind of get like, you know, divorce raped by the court system, and then next thing you know they're just kind of out there and they're looking for answers. Then they find the red pill. Whereas guys who find it through the pickup community and dating, I mean, and that's really where the red pill came from. If you look historically, the red pill, MGTOW, the manosphere as a whole all came from a result of pickup artistry, right? It came from pickup artists like myself out there doing game and posting our infield results when a girl would act like a bitch and why she was being a bitch to us, or why she said this or why she said that, and oh, women do this when you're a nice guy, and you know, this is how women treat beta males versus alpha males. We were posting all of these red pill truths. I was part of a pickup artist forum called Alt Fast Seduction back in the late 90s. I think it was like 97 or 98, that far back. And I was posting a lot of my infield results on that forum, as it was many other pickup artists. That is where I saw the evolution, or the beginnings of the evolution of what became MGTOW, and then what became the red pill, and then ultimately what created the manosphere as a whole. And the funny thing is, now you get MGTOW and a lot of these red pill guys bagging on pickup artists like myself, when all of this stuff came from pickup artistry. Make no mistake about it. I mean, I've been on these forums since the late 90s. Nobody was talking about this red pill stuff or MGTOW back then. It began to evolve, I want to say in the mid 2000s. That's when I first started to see talk like that MGTOW type of talk, just from guys who are frustrated with women. And then they started to form a faction against PUAs, especially the ones who were successful, like myself back then. And even today, these guys still come after me. Only these days I don't bother, whereas back in the day, I would always argue back and forth. We would constantly like respond back and forth, whereas these days I don't bother. That's why when guys are like, oh, this guy did a response video, it's like, dude, I've been there, done that. It's just a waste of time, because it's like, that's their experience. I cannot change that unless they are willing to change it or come on a boot camp with me. I cannot change their opinion, and I'm not going to try. It's not my job. My job is to take students who want to go out with me and help them. Okay, I'm not going to get distracted by a guy who does not want to pay for my time, does not want to pay for my coaching, and doesn't even like me. Right? Why would I do that? Make no mistake, that is where the red pill originated from. A little history lesson for you guys. It originated from PUAs, from pickup artistry, and this is why I laugh when people say, oh, this red pill guru says that this is his work, it's not yours. I'm like, dude, you realize I've been around longer than this dude. You realize I'm the actual pickup artist, and all that red pill shit came from pickup artistry. All the MGTOW lessons, guess where it came? Pickup artistry. Guys like me, Mystery, my buddy Matador, who was also on VH1's the pickup artist back in the day, all out there pounding the pavement. J-Dog, what's up J-Dog if you're watching this? All these guys who are on VH1's the pickup artist, we were out there in the early 2000s, late 90s, pounding the pavement, learning these lessons, reporting back on these forums. We obviously had guys who were frustrated, and those guys started commenting their results, and then again, that's where MGTOW started to form. And then after MGTOW, you started to see more of this terminology about red pill. I can remember guys on the forums, I mean, even as early as 99, I've heard a few guys say red pill, right? And that back then meant nothing other than the movie. The movie The Matrix had just come out 2 years prior, so it was still fairly new. Not to get too far off topic, but those are the pros and cons to being red pill. Now, as far as blue pill goes, let's talk quickly about the pros and cons to being blue pill. The pros to being blue pill is you get to stay in fantasy land, right? You get to stay in Disneyland. Imagine that. You get to stay in a world that doesn't exist, right? You get to live in this delusion that isn't real, right? There's a lot of pros to that. First pro is that you don't have to face reality, right? I mean, you can almost remain childlike for the rest of your life. You never have to face, the responsibilities of being an adult living in the real world. You could stay in fantasy land, right? That's one of the pros. Another pro is you don't have to think for yourself. You don't have to use your mind at all. You could let your mind go to sleep, like most people who are blue pill have. Their minds are completely asleep, to the point that when they finally go red pill, it's almost like their heads hurt. I've heard a lot of guys say that. It's like, hey, Em, when I finally went red pill, I was getting headaches for a while. I'm like, you know why? Like, why? I'm like, because you're finally using your brain, right? For the first time, you're using your brain in many, many years, probably since you were a child. That was the last time you actually used your brain and you thought for yourself, instead of just trusting what parents, teachers, and society told you. For the first time, you are using your brain again, and it's not used to this. There's a lot of dust on that. So I tell these guys when they have headaches, I'm like, don't worry, it'll go away. It's like a muscle, right? Your brain is like a muscle. The more you work it out, the stronger it will get. The pros of being blue pill: don't have to think for yourself. Don't have to use your brain. You could kick back, watch CNN, watch mainstream media, watch The View, and just believe everything they say. Hashtag believe all women. You just believe every little thing that comes out of your tiny little television set and take it as gospel. Right? You could watch all those Disney movies and be like, hey, this is real. You could watch all these Disney movies. You could watch Star Wars and be like, yeah, man, that's what we're supposed to be doing as men. We're supposed to be like empowering these women. They should be the lead characters. And anybody who says anything different, we should shame the crap out of them. That's a big one, is you don't have to think for yourself. Most people who are blue pill just accept the social engineering that is coming from the mainstream, and they allow that to become their values. They don't develop their own individual values or beliefs or have anything to say against it. They just adopt it as their own because they see everybody else adopting it. They're part of the herd. So that's a big one. You don't have to think. Don't have to think. It's a big narrative with the blue pill and social engineering, is not having to think for yourself. Okay, that's number 2. Number 3, pro to being blue pill, is you'll have lots of friends. Just parrot the same exact thing that your television is telling everybody else out there. You know, parrot it at work, parrot it on social media, and you'll have lots of friends. You will be this circle jerk of virtue signalers, just like you see happening on social media every single day. Whenever there's some new social event that happens or some new social outrage that happens, whether they're shaming people for not wearing masks in certain areas, or optimism shaming because of the virus, and people are saying, no, we're gonna get through this. They'll like optimism shame you. Or, you know, anything that has to deal with cops and people are getting beat up, whatever it is, you know. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm not getting into the politics of that. I'm just talking about the social engineering aspect of it, that the mainstream likes to kind of get that hive mentality behind, to, you know, kind of get the ball rolling. But yeah, that's a pro to being blue pill, is you'll have lots of friends. You'll have lots of people who will like pat you on the back like a good little blue pillar. Whereas when you're a red pill and you parrot the opposing beliefs and it's not following, you know, the mainstream social engineering or the latest mainstream social engineering, you will have a lot of people who will no longer want to be your friend. You'll have a lot of people on your Facebook unfriending you mysteriously overnight. You'll come back to your Facebook next day like, hey, I lost 30 friends just because I said Trump 2020. You'll notice that when you go against the mainstream, that you'll have a lot of people who will not want to be your friend anymore. Now let's talk about the cons of being blue pill. Some of the biggest cons about being blue pill is you will never live a life that's your own. Okay? You will never get to be who you are and who you really want to be, to the point where your soul will even begin to hate you just because you are suppressing who you are and who you want to be. And as they say, all depression comes from suppression. Okay? All depression comes from suppression. You suppressing yourself in some way, shape, or form. That usually equates to depression, you know, whether it be mild depression or, you know, very, very deep depression. It all comes from suppression. Okay, now don't take this the wrong way. Like, for an example, say you want to eat a donut, right? And you suppress eating a donut. Does that mean that you're going to be depressed? Maybe a little bit, right? But there's ways around that, right? If I feel like eating a donut, for example, it's not the healthiest thing. I might take like 2 bites out of the donut and toss it. That way I kind of get that craving out of my system, and I'm not feeling like down on myself or depressed about it. I like have at least 2 bites of it. I'm like, okay, I'm done with it. Craving's done. Don't take that too far, but usually forms of depression originate from forms of suppression, right? But part of being blue pill, biggest con, you don't get to be you. You don't get to be you. Why? Because you got to be like everyone else, right? You got to be like everyone else in the tribe. Because if you aren't, they'll kick you out of the tribe, son. Right? So you got to be like them, got to look like them, got to dress like them, and got to act like them. You can't be who you are. And if you've ever read this book, The 5 Wishes of the Dying, it was written by a nurse who was bedside. She worked at like in an old folks home. She realized a pattern with most people who are elder who would pass away, they usually came down to these 5 regrets. And one of those biggest regrets that these older people had when they were about to pass away was that they regret not being themselves in life. That was like one of their biggest regrets, not saying what they actually wanted to say and not being able to be who they actually are. You know, they got taken in by the blue pill. If you go blue pill, that's one of the cons. Or if you stay blue pill, I should say. One of the cons is you're probably going to die with that regret of not having voiced your own opinions, not having exercised your individuality that I teach you how to do on this channel. As long as you're a follower of my Alpha Male Secrets and my 33 Secrets, you're never going to have this problem, because I train you guys to be your own individual, unique selves. I train you guys to separate yourself from the pack, from the herd, and become a wolf, a lone wolf. Okay? So one of the cons, though, is to being blue pill is you won't get to experience that. You'll have to look, dress, and act just like the tribe. Even if these beliefs go against what you're actually feeling inside. Okay, part of being blue pill is you have to follow what everyone else is following. You have to follow what's popular. It's like you're in like 7th grade all over again. Everyone's wearing these kind of jeans. I got to wear these jeans too. Everybody has this haircut. I got to get this haircut too. This is the latest fad. I got to do this too. It's like you're being treated like a child all over again, and that's part of being the blue pill, is you will be treated by the Matrix like a child all over again, where you can't think for yourself. You can't be trusted to think for yourself. That's how the Matrix looks at people who are blue pill, is you cannot be trusted to think for yourself. We have to do the thinking for you. This is why I hate big government, by the way. I don't like big government. I like small government, because I don't like anybody telling me what to think, what to do, how to act, when I can go out, when I have to stay home. Go screw yourself, you know? No. One of my liberties and constitutional rights is to be able to travel at will whenever I feel like it. When I feel like walking around, I feel like it. I just want to walk out here down the street. I can do that. You know, it's our constitutional rights. Nobody has a right to tell you to stay home. Anyway, moving on. That is one of the cons of, biggest cons of being blue pill, is you can't be yourself. You can't be who you are. And you're constantly going to be operating under whatever the latest social narrative is that is being pushed by the media, because the media always pushes this shit. What the blue pill always boils down to, what the Matrix always boils down to, is having control over your life, over your thoughts, over your actions, over your behaviors. So you will never get to be who you are. Okay, that's what the Matrix will always boil down to. And I don't want to see a bunch of lookalikes out there. I want to see individual, unique people. Okay, I don't want to see a bunch of lookalikes. I don't want to see identical strangers. I want to see unique individual people being themselves and not falsely operating under the guise of the all-powerful Oz, right? I don't want to see that. So one of the cons of being blue pill is you won't be you. Right? You won't be you. Another con of being blue pill is, and this kind of falls in line with the same thing, you're going to be following the same beaten path that everybody else is following. So really, I mean, to get the good things in life that I teach you guys about, to become successful, to become rich, to be, date beautiful women, stuff like that, that's all off the beaten path. All the best things in life are off the beaten path. Anything that's on the beaten path, believe me, there's so many people in that line, it's insane. Right? There's so many people in that line, like, competing for the same, like, scraps. I think Tim Ferriss said it best in his book, The 4-Hour Workweek. He said, I'd rather go after the 1 dime piece in the bar than the 4 eighths standing in the bar. Something like that, right? There's less competition for the better things in life, essentially, is what he's saying. And it's true. There's less competition for, say, 6-figure jobs, 7-figure jobs, right? Or 6-figure businesses, building 6-figure businesses and 7-figure businesses. There's less competition for that than there is following the beaten path, going to school, and then trying to get a great job after. With that said, I'm going to wrap up here. Until next time, this is Matt Cross from Alpha Male Secrets. Don't forget to smash that like button below. Also, hit that notification bell right next to it so that you're notified whenever I release a brand new coaching video here on the YouTube. More importantly, guys, please make sure you subscribe to my channel and share my coaching videos with other like-minded friends of yours so we can really grow our tribe, really grow this movement and get more guys involved in it and really empower more guys, okay? Because everyone's empowering women out there, but we don't have enough guys empowering other guys. So let's help each other out. Let's get rid of all the riffraff out there, all the drama. Let's operate on a high vibrational frequency, not a low vibrational petty frequency. Let's be high value men. Subscribe to my channel. And for you guys who want to support my work and all of this incredible content, red pill, gold pill, platinum pill content even further, the best way to do that is by becoming a premium member of my premium Alpha Male Secrets channel, which I am hosting on a private platform away from YouTube to protect my premium content from YouTube, right? It's only $1 for the entire first month of premium content from me. This is the absolute best way to support my work and show me that you love me, you appreciate me, and you appreciate all the free content I'm giving away. So it's only $1 for the entire first month of premium Alpha Male content. All you need to do to sign up is click that link below in my description box. It will take you over to my website where you can get signed up right now. Just takes 2 seconds. So do that now, and I will see you in my next coaching video.